What is good, you guys? It's been a minute since I made a video. I thought here I would just recap the Pistons season, which ended like last week, and really just some thoughts about the draft before the draft lottery. So, as most of you guys know, the Pistons finished with the second worst record in the league, which guarantees them at least a top 6 pick in this draft. I believe they have 80% chance of picking top 5, 20% top 6, and I think it's around 42% picking top 3. So just some final thoughts to like end the season. Although we played a young core, we were losing. It's really hard. It's important to put it into perspective. Even though like I guess our young players weren't playing so well at the end, in the end the Pistons prioritized tanking as they should have by their very long injury reports, and it kind of does show the balance you do need when you're building a team. You need these veterans. As you guys saw, there was a game with Corey Joseph and Wayne Ellington. When they come in, we beat the Grizzlies. So shows the importance of veterans, if anything. And honestly, the teams where we were playing good teams. We played the Nuggets, we played the Heat, and we also had only 8 players. You had Tyler Cook coming off the bench. Even Frank Jackson got hurt. Servetus was playing. That's when they were really trying to lose. So I don't really think you should look too much into those games. You can see a little bit here and there from Killian. He had one game against the Bulls, 21.7 rebounds, 8 assists. He also had 7 turnovers, but there's at least some flashes that okay, he can at least do something in this league. So for the young guys, just hoping to really just see growth from Killian to Isaiah Stewart to Steve Bay, even Sekou Doumbouya. He had a really nice end to the season. Hopefully see some growth from him. Saban Lee, Tyler Cook, Frank Jackson, Hamidou Diallo, who's really criminally underrated. Hopefully the Pistons retain him. Just seeing growth for them would be huge for this franchise, and I really do think the future is bright in that regards. But never mind that. Let's get into this draft. So there's a lot of scenarios. There's actually 6 scenarios that could happen for the Pistons, and I think you can have a case for each scenario not being as bad as it sounds. So the 6th pick, although it's terrible, it's not like the end of the world. There are some nice prospects, but no, you do want to get in that top 4. So my current thing right now, I'd say if you get number 1, you got to go Cade Cunningham. The kid is just very mature. He has a daughter. He's 19. Isn't that crazy? That's like the first time I've seen that. But Cade Cunningham is very mature. He's very, very surgical, kind of like Killian Hayes. He's a playmaker, and he's the type of player you really want to have on your team if you're trying to rebuild. Or not even rebuild, like compete. Like I think Cade Cunningham just accelerates the rebuild. For the 2nd pick, the debate comes between Evan Mobley and Jalen Green. From what I've seen so far, I really do like Mobley. I think he would be a very solid fit on this team, and he has a nice, humble personality from just listening him talk. But Jalen Green also at 3 or 2 is also a really good fit. Jalen Green kind of fits. I would say Jalen Green's a better fit if you're drafting for that, because the Pistons do technically need shooting. They need scoring. Dwayne Casey said that towards the end of the season, that they just need people to shoot and just score. That's what the team was lacking, because our 3-point percentage was low. Troy Weaver brought in a bunch of athletic guys who just don't know how to shoot. We only have a couple shooters, so that's where I can see the fit with Jalen Green. And honestly, if you ask me, the 3rd pick low-key may be better than the 2nd pick, because you pick that 2nd and you don't pick Evan Mobley, or you don't pick Jalen Green, and then they go number 3, and that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. We saw this in the 2018 draft when Sacramento Kings took Marvin Bagley and over Luka Doncic, who was selected at 3, I believe traded. Yeah, he was selected at number 3. So it's a really risky thing. So number 3, the 3rd pick may look better, but Jalen Green, that kid is just a straight up scorer. Seeing him talk, he has a lot of attention around him. Kind of reminds me of LaMelo Ball, honestly, entering last year in terms of getting the most attention, most media press. So that'll be interesting to see. Then you go to number 4, and you're probably looking at Jalen Suggs. And there are some people who put Jalen Suggs above Jalen Green. I think the main knock on Suggs is people aren't sure if he'll be able to create in the half court. Additionally, it feels like some of his stats may be a little bit more inflated because he was playing for such a good Gonzaga team, and it kind of makes you wonder, what was his true impact? Was the team really good just because of Suggs, or was it, which I don't think is the most likely. What I think is more likely is that the whole team was just built very well and they were very balanced, so it could make a player like Suggs look dominant, which is why I think it makes sense why teams may be hesitant. But even then, even if Suggs isn't the superstar that the other three may have the potential to be, he's going to be a solid player, and he looks like a winning player. I don't think you can get too mad at selecting him at 4. And also, it kind of fits Killian Hayes a little bit. Killian Hayes, towards the end of the season, was playing at the 2 guard with Saban Lee. So if you get Jalen Suggs, that could be kind of interesting, an interesting dynamic with Jalen at the 1, Killian at the 2. That was the same happened with Cade Cunningham as well. I assume Cade would take the 1 and Killian maybe take the 2, or maybe Killian moves to the bench. Now you get to number 5 and number 6 is where it gets kind of disappointing. So far, there's Jonathan Kuminga, who honestly just reminds me of Sekou Doumbouya in that he's just another guy who really doesn't do anything well at all. There's nothing that's like, oh, this is what he does good. He's kind of all around. He struggles with shooting, but why I compare him to Sekou is just he's just a player who just has the physical tools to be successful, and if he puts in the work, then he can definitely get there. But it is kind of a risky pick to take at 5, honestly. That's like the main reason I think Sekou fell so far, was because no one knew what he could be. And I expect Kuminga to actually drop out of the top 5 by the time draft comes. So he's an interesting thing. I wouldn't be mad if the Pistons selected him, but I feel like there may be better fits, and they have more pressing needs. Also, Kuminga kind of makes it awkward with Jeremy Grant, and then Sadiq Bey. It's kind of an awkward fit there. So, but the main person that's been really rising up the Pistons boards is at number 6, and he may be selected at number 5 too, which is James Bouknight from the University of Connecticut. I've watched some film on him. The kid is a scorer. He had 40 points against Creighton, and he can hoop. He reminds a lot of people of Zach LaVine, and there are like a lot of flaws. Like, it's not like it's all perfect with him. Some flaws is he sometimes gets lost on defense, stuff with his shot selection, and that sometimes can be a struggle. But when he's on, like, he's a scorer, and he's exactly what the Pistons would need. I also wouldn't mind this pick of Bouknight. I think honestly, to be honest, like, when you're in the top 4, you take those players, but outside that, it's a crapshoot. It's just whoever you have faith in. So prospects like Sengun, the center out of Turkey, or Moses Moody, Keon Johnson, whoever you have faith in, you need to select, even if they're put low. So if Troy Weaver believes Bouknight is the man, then got to go with Bouknight. But outside of that, then you do have players like Moody, Keon Johnson, that could kind of help the team a little bit. And these players they're like, they may be good, they may be not, but it's definitely kind of disappointing that you're not getting the top 3, but there are solid players. And honestly, if the Pistons do find themselves in the 6th position, they could honestly trade down, especially if Bouknight, if they're really high on Bouknight and he's not rising as much, they could definitely trade down, take advantage, get some assets, and then select James Bouknight. I think that could be a really ideal scenario for the Pistons. But all in all, this really ends with the lottery. So the lottery comes June 22nd. Couldn't come any sooner. Excited to see what happens there. And I'll be there. I won't be there, but I'm going to try to make a video reaction or something to it, most definitely. But other than that, guys, just enjoy the NBA playoffs. There's some good basketball going on. And, the Pistons, our time's coming. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, and peace.